Here we go with another episode of the Comic Zone. Let me adjust that. We're gonna go. This is part two of my haul from Zine Party, which is put on by Shelf Life Books and Community Wise Resource Center in Calgary. Here, I was fortunate enough to be a vendor again at that one. Gord and I were showing our wares, which was very exciting. I love that. It's one of my favorite independent events for art and zines. I love that it's super zine focused because that's what I like as well. So we're going to go through a series of stuff today. We did, in case you missed it last week, the VOD is on Twitch, and it's also the video is on my YouTube channel. You should find all that stuff down there somewhere. So I've got another stack of zines here. Nice stack of zines. We'll go through for about the next 60 to 90 minutes reading through these things. But we're going to start with these really excellent pins, these really excellent buttons that I was able to trade some of my zines for from with Hollis. I'm going to put their information up on the screen here, and then we'll get going. I love these things. So what Hollis does is they were able to take. They've been doing a lot of art. Their art is very much this sort of black and white, really cool, stark style, which I really enjoy. And they were doing a lot of this for the Inktober event this year, where you do an ink drawing every day for the entire month of October. I didn't do it this year, but a lot of people do, and including Hollis here. And so what they did is they were able to take some of the ones, some different drawings and things that they were creating over the last couple months here, and create these really cool buttons out of them. And a lot of Hollis's work really goes by this idea of light versus dark. It's a sort of like angels and demons. There's been an ongoing narrative in all of their work that centers around this, and I love the art style. I love the way they do it. And so, yeah, the cool thing about this is Hollis, we were talking about this, and they said, I had some stuff that I had printed that just didn't turn out. And then I was able to turn it into buttons. I was like, that's so smart. So it's kind of perfect way to do it is to print this stuff. And if you're not able to use it for a printed book, make pins out of it. I've always wanted to do pins, a lot of pins. So this is really inspiring to me. So definitely check out Hollis's stuff. It's all incredible. We've shown some of their zines previously in some older episodes. So definitely, look back even at some of the older VODs for this. All of the comXone stuff I've done since the beginning of it is all up on the YouTube channel. So you can go back and you can check out more stuff. And I know I've shown some of their stuff before, and I love the style of it. So yeah, that's Hollis's work. Really great stuff. Really good Instagram follow because they post a lot of their artwork, and it's just because it's got that great sort of consistency in how it looks. It's really fun to look at. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is Kate Beck. So Kate, who goes by Kate Letters Lots. They do some really great lettering work, by the way. As somebody who thinks from a designer's perspective first and an artist second, I appreciate everything that Kate does because they have an incredible eye for detail, for all those kind of fine things that sometimes get lost, just the way things look and the way you can play with positive and negative space and things like that. So I've got three pieces from them. And as always, as people are going through this, if I've misattributed anything. Everything should be correct, but if anything's incorrect, feel free to let me know, and I'll always do an addendum later on if there's anything that I've gotten wrong. Okay, so Kate Letters Lots, you'll find their Instagram over there. Got 3 pieces from them. We'll start with Magpie. I love this one because magpies were just determined and voted to be Calgary's representative bird. Magpies, they're mischievous, they're kind of misunderstood, they're kind of shit disturbers. So that's what I love about them. You don't want to mess with a magpie because they remember you. They'll remember your face. They'll remember your look, your sound, your movement. And so I always have looked at magpies as these strange creatures that we share, especially this city with. And a lot of people just hate them, but I have an appreciation for them. So Magpie is this really great one because you can see how much they're playing with the idea of the look, the feel, the movement, the sound of this very misunderstood bird. So as we go through here, you can really captures the everybody. It really captures the kind of mischievous nature of a magpie. They are famously fearless birds. So they will come right up to you. They will mess with you. I actually at this event where I traded for this, I had a moment with a magpie that day outside of the community-wise resource center where we were having the zine party. I was outside taking a quick break from the vending, and there was this magpie, and he was completely fearless on the sitting on the railing that led up to the building, and just gave zero craps about who was there, how close they might be. So I was standing literally 3 feet away from the bird, just hanging out, just chatting with it, having it chat at me because they make a lot of very interesting noises. So yeah, magpie is very cool. I love it. It just the idea of this magpie just coming right up to you happens, and they're great that way. The next one, Bailey the Amazing Carrot Eating Dog, is a really great little one as well. So Bailey is a very good dog all of the time, but she is an amazing dog when she wants carrots. Bailey can find carrots in the fridge. Bailey can find carrots in the garden. Bailey can find carrots on your plate. Bailey can even find carrots in her sleep. But mostly Bailey is such a good dog that she gets as many carrots as she likes. She would still like more though. Lovely. So this is a little chronicle about Kate's pretty cool dog. I think I think they mentioned more about Bailey on their. I think I've seen other writings about Bailey on Kate's social media. Pretty cool dog. Lovely. Like something that Kate does really, really well. Like I said, the lettering is great. Seeing the move between different styles is great. But the other thing that Kate really excels at is the color work and creating focal points. So the using an almost complementary color here to bring out these focal points is really good. Like I said, as somebody who looks at these things from a designer's perspective, I can see what Kate's doing, and it's all real good. The last one from Kate back here that we'll look at is called Resume. Now it's based on a poem by Dorothy Parker and been illustrated. So let's go through that. Razors pain you. Rivers are damp. Acids stain you. and drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, and nooses give. Gas smells awful. You might as well live. So this is very much a poem about persevering and continuing when life is hard. So I really enjoyed that what Kate's done is made a note here about the Talk Suicide Hotline here in Canada. This is meant to bring hope to people, and it's beautifully done. It's beautifully put together, and beautifully illustrated. Once again, like you look at this, it's a completely different style than what they were doing on these two, where it was bright, colorful, almost pop art. This has a much more contemplative, calming, like old illustrative style. Really well done. So congrats to Kate on all of their work. The other thing that Kate has been doing that I saw at the last market I saw them at were these really amazing pins. The sort of metal and enamel pins. So nice, so well done. I am very jealous of the skills that Kate shows. The next one we're going to look at is from Amanda Baisley. I'll put their information on the screen here, and we'll take a look at Lying Awake, which is a really interesting kind of introspective and lonely thing. So Lying Awake is a late night thought from Amanda Baisley. This one's great. This is one of those more literary zines with quite a bit of writing in it. I really like these because I think zines are an awesome way to share writing, but in this different kind of format. And part of it is like the tactile sensation of the piece you have. There's some illustrative or photographic stuff you can do, and the typesetting and everything else. So Lying Awake, a late night thought. I am so fucking lonely. There's an unbearable heaviness inside of my body. I keep having these moments where it feels like I'm suffocating, like I can't catch my breath. My loneliness is a burden. It is deafening and heavy, and I wish you would just ask me to come over. But I don't just want to get a text at 2 a.m. when you're lonely too, and I'm the last one you ask because everyone else is asleep or declined your invitation. I wish you wanted me like I want the idea of you. I'm asking too much. I know your capacity to love is non-existent. I want to be held, kissed, loved by you. I crave these things like a drug I can't get my hands on, like something I may never have again. I'm so fucking lonely. I don't deserve this, so why am I waiting for your text asking me to come over? Why am I lying awake waiting for you to call when you're out with your friends, even though you cancel our plans because you were too tired to do anything after work? I've waited all day for you to get off work. I keep crying and waiting and hoping that you'll ask me to come over because you miss me, that you'll text first because you thought of me, that you'll make plans because you're excited to see me. This isn't going to happen, and my loneliness knows. So why am I still waiting? I am so fucking lonely. That's a hell of a piece right there. That's a hell of a zine that really wears their heart on their sleeve. It's the other thing I love about these sort of literary zines is you see people's vulnerability in a way that you normally don't. You normally, when a lot of the people who are creating these zines, when I go and I talk to them, and because I'm also kind of an introvert, but I'm when I'm out and about, I'm pretty social. A lot of people you'll meet at zine fairs, they're very quiet, they're very reserved, they're very, but then you read their writing and it's like such, like this one's such a kick in the ass. You feel the palpable loneliness and frustration and anxiety and that anticipation and then the disappointment. You just feel it. It's like a gut punch. So yeah, Amanda really nailed this one. But yeah, it's Amanda Baisley. Really great. Really, really great. This next one's by Sophie, who goes on Instagram as Ghoulbap. Ghoulbap. Another great one I traded for here. It's called Trash Zine. The Trash Zine, Volume 1. If this thing will focus. Still having some issues with focusing of the camera. It's going to be an ongoing thing. It's probably part of the problem is probably this my desk pad that I like to have here. It likes to pull focus on that. But Trash Zine Volume 1 is a really great one because it has this this collage sort of nature to it. This found objects art. It's literally things discarded by others. And depending on, for me as a Calgarian, and this is a Calgary thing, I recognize certain portions. This here is part of the logo from the Calgary Public Library. There's part of an Alberta operator's license. There's a courtesy card for the Bank of Montreal, which is a Canadian bank. Yeah, so just all these little found objects. And you always wonder about the circumstances around these things. Just discarded flyers for snow removal, people's shopping lists, where someone was going to meet. There's another shopping list. Someone was getting carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, cucumber. Here's one written in Chinese characters, I believe. An old Dunlop, looks like an old Dunlop guitar pick here. Really great. A Camper's Village thing. Camper's Village is a little chain that's in Canada here. Nature Bingo Answer Key. Yeah, these are cool. Just all these random little things, and you wonder, like, what are someone's house keys? Why not? So yeah, it's a really great. I love collage based and found object based zines because it's again, what a cool way to show that. And something I find really interesting about this one too is when you take a look at it, you'll see we had on the end of the one page was the start of the next one. So really cool way of putting this together in a way that some of these pages led, there's a little bit of a sneak peek of what's coming on the next page. Yeah, really nice work by Sophie on that one. Next one we're going to look at, this is from Katie Faulkner. And they go by Cytoplasm. I met Katie for the first time this year, early summer in 2023, at the Panel One Comic Creator Festival. And KD does a lot of interesting things. They do if you take a look at their Instagram, they do they do stickers, they do art, they do textile work like sewing work and crocheted creatures, as well as the artwork. And there's even one where I think they're burnishing, um, like they're doing lino cuts or a block, like they do printmaking as well. So they'll there's some stuff on KD's Instagram of them actually doing like carving into a block for printmaking. This one's called Estate Beast, and I love the style of it. It's kind of got like a fresh contemporary look and also like an old world, like old medieval, um, like dragons. It's got the dragon with twisty tail and the twisted sort of, yeah, it's great. It's really good. So nearly overnight, everything changed. There's something that's been eating houses in my neighborhood. A great and terrible beast, I can only assume. And the printing of this and the color of the paper, so good. Every corner lot, every well loved family home, every overgrown yard has been swallowed whole. Only a pit is left. The beast has eaten right down to the tree roots. In their place, the ugliest, cheapest blockhouses are built. They rot and leak after just one winter, fitting 4 to 8 slim hallway dwellings. It's more expensive to shimmy through these slivers of space than it was to live in the single house that used to sit there. There's a tiny patch of earth left after the complex is built, usually filled with moldy wood chips or withered decorative grasses. A farce of the garden that used to grow there, the apple tree, the favorite sunny spot of an old yellow lab. The beast grins, insists it's helping. This is your new home, as long as you can keep up with the landlord's demands, it says. It's conveniently located 2 feet from various amenities, such as a very high traffic road. Sometimes the house stays, but a different beast slithers in, splitting up rooms with plywood, tossing in their own discarded furniture, and overfilling the space with students. Trapped underground, starving, sucking in stale air and glimpses of sunlight from sliver windows that don't open. I really do wish that this was a beast that could bleed. At least I could fight it. At least I could kill it. Do anything to prevent more people from suffering. I wish I could stop it. So, will you slay this beast, or will your home be next? So this is awesome because this talks about um, the housing crisis is kind of happening everywhere in North America, but it has been very big here in my part of the world, and I know it's been big everywhere. But this talks very much to it, and Katie, or the sort of narrator that Katie has created, imagines all this stuff that's been happening to sort of exploit the rental markets and the real estate market and the housing crisis as this great awful beast that keeps sort of morphing in their mind of what it looks like and what it does. So it's this sort of ever-changing beast. It reminds me of that movie 300, where some of the enemies that the Spartan warriors go up against almost take on this mythical thing because their mind's eye, you're seeing through their mind's eye of these sort of like beastly things that they can't imagine it to be human. And this reminds me of that, where it's a very human problem but imagined as a almost a mythical beast. It's awesome. I love this. The way that the color works in with the yellow, bright yellow paper. Now it's not quite as day glow yellow as it shows here. It's more muted. It just doesn't quite come through on camera, but it's a stunning, stunning zine. It talks about something really, really important. Very cool. Very, very cool. We're going to show, I've got about, I think, 4 different zines from the next person here. This is Jaren. They go by Jar Jar Studio. Jar Jar Jar. Not Jar Jar. Jar 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 Studio. So I've got a nice little haul of stuff that we traded for. We were next door neighbors in the at the zine party. Let's see. Whose is this? Nope. That's for the next one. So this is Jaren's stuff. Really, really great use of typography and form and shape. So we've got 4 volumes of their zine and a really nice sticker. A really, really nice sticker that uses that. It reminds me, if you've watched previous episodes of the comXone, some of the work I've been showing from Kevin Stebner, who goes by Revolution Winter, does some interesting things like this. They have in some ways a similar style, not in all ways, but the way that they take abstract letter forms and use them geometrically reminds me of each other, and they're both insanely talented. One thing I also want to point out, I'll point out at the end of this, I'm going to put a second Instagram account on here. I'll mention it right now. So their partner actually runs a great nonprofit called Art and Craft YYC, and they so it's art and craft supplies. What they do is they get people to donate their unused or gently used art supplies that aren't being used, and they supply them to people who would like them free of charge. They go to many different events throughout the city and give free art supplies to people who are looking for them. It's a super idea. It's an awesome idea. I'm actually going to go through my old art supplies because I have stuff still. Some of my art supplies are from college, and if I haven't used them yet, they're probably not going to get used, right? So I'm going to be supporting the art and craft supply nonprofit. It's just such a good idea. Okay, so let's go through Jaren's 4 volumes of their zine here. So that is it's Run, Eat, Nap. You can see what I was saying about using the sort of letter forms in a geometric, almost abstract way. Run, Eat, Nap is the first one. So you can see how they've used... Oh, hi, Hazel. Look, we've got a visitor. We've got Hazel here. Off you go. You can't stand on zines. So run. Run, run, run. Eat. Eat. Nap. And I love the way that Jaren has rendered this. I often will sit down and just spend... If I've got an afternoon to do it, there are times when I spend an entire afternoon doing abstract letter shapes like this and just exploring concepts. So this speaks to me. Really nice work. That's the first volume. Here's the second volume. To me, this looks like a face. Sad face, right? I think I'm right. Is it a sad face? Or it's somebody, it's like a jester almost. So what Jaren has done in this case is created a bunch of so it's a sad clown. Okay, so I wasn't far off. So once again, using these sort of abstract geometric shapes to create these really quite evocative faces. Slick, the sad clown. Oh, Mr. Smiley. Look at that with the almost sharpened teeth. King. Oh, the big cheese. Somebody puckering up and doing kisses. What's the difference between evocative and provocative? I'll get back to you on that, Phil. What would be the difference? Evocative and provocative.
Evocative like brings out a feeling. Provocative
is inwards. Is an inwards versus outwards?
Provocative is outwards.
Yeah.
Provocative is a little dirty.
Provocation.
Yeah.
Yeah, provocation. I've got Michelle here to answer those kind of questions. This one's great. Look at that. Look at that cool, like, orca shape. But it's like to me, it's almost like a whale, like, going through the cosmos. So volume 3 of Jar Jar's. Yeah, it's got the bubbles. Blub blub. Like a pod of whales moving through the water. Blub blub blub. Oh, it's so good. This is another one where I have to open it up and look at it full. Look at that. The motion, the movement. Every once in a while, I take these. That's what I love about the 8-page mini zine. It's made from a single-sided piece of paper. So every once in a while, I open one up fully and take a look at it. And finally, volume 4. The other thing that Jaren does, and it's incredible, is Jaren does these gel plate prints. So what Jaren does is they cover a I think it's a metal plate with this gel ink, and then they'll press say a wildflower or some sort of flora into it. And what happens is you press that, and as you take it away, the ink where the flora was touching the plate, the ink gets pulled away. So you actually get a negative image of the flower. So you can see there's a dead nettle and a columbine. So yeah, what Jaren's done is they've covered an entire printing plate with this gel ink and then pressed the flower into it, and the flower actually pulls the ink off, and what you're left with is the negative impression of the actual flower. Daisies, carnations. And because you're pressing them into it, you get almost like, that daisy looks so interesting. And, you're not used to seeing it in negative, as a negative like that. And pressed, you get a different sort of impression of it. So it's like seeing, even if you've seen these flowers before, they look very different. Come on now. Give me a nice focus. Trying to get this thing to focus is always interesting. Daylilies and some grass, some mature grass there where it's actually gone to seed. Awesome. Jaren's work is so good. I was really, really happy to be chatting with him during the zine party. We've got we got about 6 more people to go through, and then we will move on. So the next stuff here, this is from McFuss is what they go by. It's Miyake. Miyake? Right? I'm going to say that wrong. Probably said it wrong, but they go by McFuss. McFuss on Instagram. Really great work. Oops, let me... So we've got 2 really great ones here. The first one's called The Feeling of Watching Shadows Grow Long. Once again, we get some really nice writing and illustration. Almost looks like old old printmaking or old animation style. Stretching towards an early night at the end of a short day. The feeling of sitting by a window as it fills up with black. The feeling of crowding into a room too warm for the clothes you wore outside. Everyone short of breath and sweating in unison. No one willing to brave the shock of cold that reaches under your coat just past the door. Cool. So it's a cool, like, kind of contemplative thing about going into winter, like we are here. There's the silhouette, looks like, of the Calgary Tower. Yeah, beautiful work. Really beautiful. That sort of idea, that common thing of crowding into a room with other people and everybody knowing they're going to have the chill of the cold the second they go outside. And the second one here, by the same author, by Miyake. When I get tired enough, I lose the names of things. I forget which names, words, are assigned with which objects. This makes communication difficult. How tired completely would I have to get? Have to forget completely? Am I tired enough now? For instance, let's see. Flag, cat, truck, swirl, wine, veil, orb, another orb, visit, and then off to sleep. So next time I see the author of this, I want to ask them. I want to ask them some questions about this. I assume this. This is biographical, and that as they do get tired, they start to get hazy on the names of things. The way they've created this with these sort of pictograms of each thing, these sort of almost emoji style. Really quite amazing. And I'd like to ask them, about this and their experience with it, because I assume that this is biographical of what they actually experience. It's it puts you in the mind space of it, of losing the plot on things. Okay, our next creator is another Amanda. And let me quickly create a promo. So here's where you can find Amanda's work. I had to trade for this. The second I saw it, I went crazy for this thing. This is a flip book, and I love flip books. I like the idea of flip books. I like using them. I like creating them. So we've got a book of matches here. Let's see if I can actually do this on stream, if it'll actually flip. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to try it again. I'm probably gonna do it a couple of times. So keep watching. Nope, go like this. Let's go through it really fast this time. So yeah, it illustrates the act of opening the book of the box of matches, pulling a match out and striking it and getting the flame. It's hard to do. It's easier to see and do it in your hand than it is to do it towards a camera. Keep watching that. I love it. It's a cool way to show. So Amanda actually does animation work as well. So it's a cool way for them to take what they do in animation, and a flip book is a perfect way to show that kind of work that they do in the animation sphere. Yeah, I love flip books. I love flipping through them. I used to make some back in college, and this definitely made me want to get back into it. The simple hand knotted binding here is perfect for it. It's awesome. Another one by the same author here is their zine on clouds. Another, so this is a really great informational zine, which is always very nice. So it's cool because you get to actually learn stuff. So I learn here that in the height of clouds, when they're very high, they're mostly ice. In the middle, they're ice and water. And low, they are water and mist. And that the very high ones are nearly transparent. And as they're lower, that's when you find they're more opaque. So I learned that I can start to recognize the altitude of clouds by their opaqueness. Types of cloud words. Cirrus, which are wispy clouds occurring only at high altitudes because they're made of ice crystals. Nimbus clouds, or rain clouds, are gray. Stratus clouds are long, streaky clouds that fill up the whole sky. Alto clouds refer to the middle level clouds that are half water, half ice. They aren't transparent, but they don't look close. And cumulus clouds, which are your big fluffy mashed potato clouds. I always call them mashed potato clouds. And then they go through each one. And I love this. Like, really nice illustrations. Really cool effect on their titles for each page. Your cumulus clouds, the classic fluffy cloud, they either stay low for nice weather or they start growing upwards into cumulonimbus clouds, meaning a storm is incoming. Cumulonimbus clouds are really large, from low to high level cloud, fluffy, and a sure sign of a thunderstorm. The cloud points in the direction that the storm is headed. And how much we're learning today. I love informational zines. The zines that I make are mostly informational ones. All my Ghost Town ones are an informational zine. So I appreciate when someone is teaching you something through a zine. Low-level clouds. Stratus clouds are the clouds that look like thick fog. Expect a little precipitation like a light drizzle or a light snow. Stratocumulus clouds are similar to cumulus, but flat, gray-bottomed, and they streak across the whole sky in rows and patches. No precipitation. Nimbostratus. Fluffy gray clouds covering the whole sky. These clouds are usually out when it's raining. Middle level clouds. Altocumulus. Fluffy clouds higher up in the sky. Lots of contrast, white and gray. There could possibly be a thunderstorm later in the day. Altostratus. Gray or blue clouds that cover the whole sky. They often block the sun. There will be a storm soon. Now our high-level clouds. Cirrus clouds are wispy clouds, white and transparent. Good weather for the rest of the day. Cirrostratus. Wispy bits in waves covering the sky. Expect moist weather. Cirrocumulus. White and transparent cumulus clouds high up in the sky. Indicates good weather. Cool. Time to go cloud watching, and gives you a note section to make your own notes. Can you ask for a better informational zine than that? I don't think so. I think that does everything you're hoping. Does everything you want to do. Super cool. Super cool. Okay, this next one here, it's a quick one, but I've got 3 people you could be following on Instagram for this. Now, this group here, it's 2 fellows. I think they're brothers. I should really ask them. I believe they're brothers. Josh and is it Josh and Evan? Uh, I think it is. I hope I'm right on that. I think it's Josh and Evan Bryan. And they go by the collective Bill's Benevolent Association. Now, if you've watched other episodes of the Comix Zone, if you remember it was a big hit with the chat, was the one that was about cowboy poetry, and it had the sort of almost like sentient cowboy hats shooting at each other and doing things. It was all cowboy poetry. That was this group, Bill's Benevolent Association. And in that case, it was the cowboy poetry of Josh Bryan. That one was a big hit. So when I was able to get my hands on another piece of theirs and trade my crummy little zines for their beautifully produced, rich, and I don't know if you can see it, it's actually metallic. This is actually a bit of a metallic, almost copper. Oh my God, it's so good. Here's a cool sticker. It's okay not to know. A message from Bill's Benevolent Association. So here's another piece from them. This one is purely pictographic, purely illustrative in nature. It's got a really great, they always print their stuff on this really beautiful paper. It's almost like I would say it's a handmade paper, but I could be wrong, but it's actually got that sort of ragged rag edge, which is quite nice. It's called Away. Away, only to return again, but soon it will all fade. Now let's go through that a little bit slower. So we've got what appears to be the pot of gold, almost looks like pot of gold at the end of the rainbow kind of thing, but I think it's the sun in there. And it's to me, it's all about the sun being covered by clouds. So great to come after the clouds one. We've got ourselves some cumulus clouds here, slowly becoming cumulonimbus. I'm learning. See, I'm learning. So we're sort of above an island. And the texture of this, it's actually the ground with grass. My God, it's so good. And you can see it being covered by the clouds. And the clouds dancing, almost playfully dancing, as it sets and appears to boil the ocean. I could be wrong on that. So cool. I love this one. All the stuff that Evan and Josh are doing is they do posters and stickers and zines and small publications and newspapers, and everything they do is top notch. And I'm so jealous of their talent. So good. So that's, yeah, the Bill's Benevolent Association, their stuff is amazing. When they agree to trade my stuff for theirs, I throw my hands up to the air and thank and thank the stars. I'm very happy when that happens. And finally, this was a very interesting get for me. So there is a independent news organization here in Calgary called The Sprawl. I've been a follower and supporter of theirs for several years. they have a cartoonist or an artist on staff by the name of Sam Hester. Now, Sam Hester to me is like one of those, for me, has almost been like a mythical figure to me, because I've known of Sam's work for a while. I've never had the chance to meet them, and I've always kind of been, over the moon with the stuff that they're doing for the Sprawl. So it's an independent news organization that focuses on pretty like hyper local news, um, like on the municipal level. So I've wanted to meet the creator of the Sprawl, Jeremy Colossus, and I've wanted to meet Sam Hester for a long time. And lo and behold, I'm at the Zine Party, and I look over, and there they are. And I knew that Sam had been doing this a small series of zines for the Sprawl. So I was really wanting to, is just perfect. They obviously said to themselves, "Hey, we're doing zines. Why don't we go out to this thing and hobnob a little and introduce ourselves to people and see what people are doing in the zine space?" So I I ran up to them with my zines and said, "I love your work. I'm a big fan of both of you. Would you trade? If I traded you some of my zines, would you be cool with that?" So we did a zine trade that day. So that was just really, really cool. So it's a series called Curious Calgary. It's all about very Calgary centric sort of these anomalies in my own city. So some stuff that was not even aware of myself. So we've got one all about different tunnels in Calgary. This thing's never going to there we go. Now we get it. I just gotta get it really close. So Curious Calgary. The first one is about tunnels in the city. There are so many cool and curious things in Calgary, like the Bow River Calf Robe Cycle Path Tunnel, built right under an old CN rail track. From the Science Center, you can see this huge abandoned train tunnel. It was built by CP Rail so freight trains could serve clients like the Calgary Herald in the Meridian industrial area. So this probably means not much to you, but this means tons to me. So finding out about this tunnel that still exists, that what it was is so that freight trains could go up to the Calgary Herald building, which is a newspaper, I think the oldest newspaper in Calgary. They had a tunnel so that the trains could bring them their paper, their pulp, their paper, their ink, and probably bring their raw materials in to print the paper. And this spur line called the M Lead goes right under Deerfoot Trail, which is the busiest highway in Calgary. It's like, I can't remember what it is. It's like 50,000 cars a day or 100,000 cars a day go over Deerfoot. So it's crazy that there's this tunnel under it. It's cool. The Calgary Airport Tunnel, featured in the show The Last of Us. You may have, if you watch The Last of Us and you see them going into the tunnel with the destroyed cars, and they're worried they're going to get taken out by the walkers. That was this. It goes underneath the new runways for our international airport. It was designed for 6 lanes of traffic and 2 LRT lanes. Sam mentions we can all dream. Because the transit situation in the city is not great. There's a big tunnel underneath City Hall Station, originally intended for our C train, which is our light rail line, our public transit. It's now full of water. The portal can be seen from northbound trains in the tunnel between Victoria Park and Stampede and the City Hall stations, which once again doesn't probably mean a lot to you, but it's speaking my language. It seems like every Calgary high school has a legend about secret tunnels that lie beneath it. Why? Here's St. Mary's School. I guess we know there's more to Calgary than what's on the surface. I'll bet you have a Calgary tunnel story too. Once my high school friend and I sat on top of Confederation Park Tunnel when we should have been asleep. And stay tuned for more. And they did two more of these. Like I said, the Sprawl does great independent journalism here in Calgary. Their second one is about abandoned buildings, which, as the guy who's become the ghost town guy, this definitely speaks to me. This one on abandoned buildings. Come on, come on. Waiting for the camera to decide that there's a thing here. There we go. A hand always helps. Some buildings in Calgary are just standing empty, waiting for a second chance. Like the Inglewood Brewery, which started operating in 1893. It used to be a Labatt's brewery, I believe. Molson or Labatt's? I guess it's the same. Yeah, we've got an old brewery that just sits empty. There used to be a passenger train station under our Calgary Tower. And this was the ticket counter. As far as I know, the station is still there, empty and unused. These unfinished stories are mysterious. What is this unfinished building in Quarry Park? The elevator shafts have been standing there since 2015. To me, these concrete structures look like Stonehenge. A cautionary tale. Victoria Park's Enoch Sales House stood empty for years before it was destroyed in a fire in 2019. I remember that. It was a beautiful old building, sat empty for years and years, and then burnt down. Eau Claire Market is slated for demolition to make way for the Green Line, which is our new transit light rail line. After many years of being mostly empty, I remember when it opened in the 90s. I remember coming to this. They had a Hard Rock Cafe that we came to at the tail end of high school in the late 90s. But some abandoned buildings do get a second chance, like the Cornerstone, a decade-long disused downtown office tower. It's being turned into residential apartments. One more. It's about the many streetlights in Calgary. So in this one, I believe I was talking to Sam about this. You know, how much research were you doing, stuff like that? And one of her kids is really into streetlights, so helped with this. She has one kid who's really into trains and transit vehicles, and another kid who's really into like electronics, robotics, and streetlights. You know, it's funny what kids get into. We all rely on streetlights, but have you ever really looked at them? LEDs. Calgary has had these bright white lights since 2017. The pros are that they're energy efficient and affordable. Cons, they're really bright. The oldest streetlights in Calgary use mercury vapor bulbs. They glow green. In Linwood, surrounded by telephone wires, there's a rare remaining mercury vapor bulb in an old McGraw Edison Unidor 250-watt streetlight. Lots of old streetlights, like this old bucket type, use sodium vapor bulbs. They glow orange, but they turn green when they're burning out. Calgary used sodium vapor lights before switching to LED. Yeah, we used to have the very, very orange lights. Another streetlight type is the Cobra head, which is called that because seen from below, it looks like a cobra spreading its hood. Until 2017, Calgary mostly had Cobra heads with sodium vapor light bulbs. The first Cobra head ever invented was the Westinghouse Silverliner. In the 1950s, it revolutionized street lighting. You can still find a few in Calgary, and there's one in Ramsey. Want a challenge? Look for clamshells. You do not see these much anymore. They became widespread in the 50s and 60s, and now they're extremely rare. But you do find them in the Beltline, which is our sort of near downtown, on 12th Avenue Southwest, and there's one at Chicken on the Way, which is Kensington Road. And the sprawled print office is actually right here. Cool. Informational zines. I love them. I love them. So let's do a quick recap of what we looked at today before we peel out of here. Quick recap of everything. We started off, as you remember, with these beautiful buttons from Hollis. And then here I'm going to remove that. Our second thing we went into was the work from Pete Beck, which was the awesome Magpie one, the resume, and Bailey the amazing carrot eating dog. Amazing work. Then we jumped into, let's see, I'll do these slightly out of order, I think. We had Estate Beast from Katie Faulkner, which was all about the swallowing up of communities and exploitation of rental markets, completed by men, but imagined as a mythical beast. Very good. We had Amanda Baisley's amazing and vulnerable work, Lying Awake. We had Sophie's Trash Zine, which is a really cool found object art piece. We had Jaren with their Jar 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 Studio zine series. We had Miyake's work, two great pieces of writing. When I get tired enough, I lose the names of things and the feeling of watching shadows grow long. Then we had the great work from Amanda here with the flip book. I'm going to flip it again. And the informational clouds. And then finally, we wrapped up with pieces from Bill's Benevolent Society and the work from Sam Hester at the Sprawl. Really great piece of work. That concludes everything that's my haul from last week's episode, and this week's episode wraps up everything I picked up at the Shelf Life Books Zine Party. It's always a pleasure to be a vendor at that one. I do probably the most trading of zines at that event that I do in the entire year. It's a great chance to catch up with people that I only see a couple of times a year sometimes and get some of their art and trade them some of my art. So I'm always, it entices me to and prods me and motivates me to create more work. So I have something to trade for all the great work that they're creating. So thank you, everyone. Next week, I'm going to try to trade off a bit on the comXone. I have items that I picked up from the Starry Dynamo Arts Market. I also have pieces that I picked up just last weekend at an event called the Black Sheep Collective. I'm going to be trying to trade off a little bit though on Wednesdays between doing comXone and doing what I'm going to call What's on Game Pass Wednesdays, where I take a look at some games that are on Xbox Game Pass, whether it's on PC or on my Xbox, and try to get a little more game content coming as well. So this VOD will be on Twitch as well as on my YouTube channel. So follow me on both. Follow me on both. Just follow me on both.